morning and welcome to the Washington Wellness Park and to today's game between Fort Madison Bloodhounds and your very own Washington Demons. The Iowa High School Athletic Association and Washington High School encourages positive sportsmanship and behavior at all times during our athletic events. Good sportsmanship starts with respect for yourself, your team, the opponent, and the decisions made by the officials. Please honor these athletes competing tonight by refraining from any negative comments. Together, we can set the standard for good sportsmanship. Please join me in welcoming our officials for tonight, Matt Brown, Brett Woodward, and Felipe Navis. And now our starting lineups. Starting lineups for the Bloodhounds. Number 1, Keeland Ross. 8, Connor Horn. Niles Camphor, Hunter Wiegland, Jay Ellingson, Jonah Santiago, Jack Regar, Jonah Tackett, Jake Heisig, and Tanner Williams. And now for our own Washington Demons, Braden Tappan, Johan Resendez, Xavi Resendez, Kevin Raimondo, Joseph Schreiber, Santiago Ramirez, Ben Kronloggy, Narek Raimondo, Fletcher Brower, Kevin Sales Gomez, and Neri Salazar. We'd like to welcome the head coach from the Bloodhounds, Kevin Wellman, and assistant coach Tristan Dickerson, as well as our head coach, Sally Hart, and our assistant coach, Sarah Grunwald. At this time, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we pay honor to this great nation with the playing of our national anthem. Play ball.
Green. I'll be back.
Welcome to Washington Wellness Park, where it is conference play time for the Washington Demons, as tonight they will battle the Fort Madison Bloodhounds. As we welcome you in to the very brief pregame show, powered by our friends at the Nancy Williams Agency of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Washington Demon boys and girls soccer, as always, powered by our friends at Washington County Hospital and Clinics. Jack Knowlton on the call tonight for what should be an intriguing one. The Demons trying to go for a 3-0 start. They've got wins over Hillcrest Academy and Columbus. Fort Madison coming in with just the one draw so far in their season, but a team that beat Washington by an aggregate score of 10-1 in 2 conference games last year, and they will try to replicate that tonight. The Demons looking to keep their strong home form going, and we are underway. between Washington and Fort Madison. Demons trying to carry the ball forward right away. Washington recycling up near midfield. Ball rolls back to the man in goal for Fort Madison. It's Keeland Ross, has been or was the goalkeeper as a freshman in those 2 wins for Fort Madison. Bloodhound star up front is Connor Horn. He wears that number 8 shirt. He's center of the park right now, and a foul call or flag might have been up. Missed on the far side from the assistant referee. Fort Madison back underway with a free kick. Trying to control it in that midfield. That was a important battle. Neither team really asserted themselves between Washington and Hillcrest in that last game for the Demons. It was Washington doing their usual thing on set pieces. They've scored on or coming off of a set piece in each of their last 2 matches. Fort Madison, no goals in their season so far, with that 0-0 draw against a very good Williamsburg team, coming off a state tournament appearance last season. So sometimes there can be good draws, and that certainly could be one for Fort Madison. Washington trying to threaten forward. Fort Madison trying to spring Horn over here on this right-hand side. He's drifted over there up front for them, number 17, Jonah Tackett. Just a freshman. Putting some trust in him up front. That one's cleared away by one of the goal scorers of last game, Kevin Ramundo. Before Madison have it back again, here is Horn. On the right wing, tries to curl in a low cross. Braden Tappan watches it roll out of bounds. He was looking for Tackett. Front 3, it looks like, for Fort Madison. 2 attackers tucked in behind them. Tanner Williams is one of them. Williams, 2 goals last season for this FM team. Bloodhounds back in possession. Fletcher Brower's pass is cut off. Washington get it back. Here's Narek Ramundo getting a nice feed from Neri Salazar. Ramundo already a goal for himself this season. No big chance for either side in the first 3.5 minutes of this first half. First of 4 straight home games for the Demon Boys team. They'll be back here Friday night. They've got it up the top of the box now. Chance to maybe get a shot in. Fort Madison not able to clear the danger all the way yet. Ball still loose in the top of the box, and a difficult shot in traffic. No trouble in the end for the Bloodhounds. Trying to build out of the back. Washington not letting them. Some pressure. Fort Madison trying to escape out of it. Still haven't quite cleared it. It's back in possession with the Demons. Still in a dangerous area. Fort Madison will try and build again. That one's cut off by Ben Kronlage. Bloodhounds pounce on it. Forward looking for Tackett. Fletcher Brower is back there for the Demons. Tackett hanging with him. Brower in a long-range effort. Skims wide off the foot of Jack Rhaegar, another freshman. Rhaegar up there along with Jonas Santiago, who's one of the captains for Fort Madison, an all-SEC player last season. 3 goals and 3 assists for him. See Brower back there put under pressure for the first time today. You got two really strong, really solid, and acclaimed center backs in this game, Brower, and for Fort Madison, Lane Rung. He's got the armband for the Bloodhounds in defense. Both players all SEC last season. Brower was honorable mention. Rung started almost every game for the Bloodhounds. Didn't score or get an assist, but marshaled that FM defense. They had a +12 goal difference. That is a credit to those center backs. Of course, got the better of Washington on 2 occasions. Long ball rolls all the way through to Tappan. Rung, that one cut off by Marcelino. Here's Neri Salazar. Can Salazar get a shot off? Fort Madison clears. That ball too hard from Santiago, trying to play that weighted through ball to his teammate up front, Tackett. Here's the Washington freshman, Santiago Ramirez. A goal for him this season, drifting into midfield. There's a good ball forward from Kronlagi. Kevin Raimundo runs onto this. Raimundo on the left foot, trying to cut it back. FM able to scramble it clear again. Horn dropping back, working against Schreiber. Ramirez collects. Finds Raimundo, who tried to do the quick 1-2 at the outside of the foot. That ball knotted out of play.
Thanks.
Might have to put you out there at halftime.
Not a chance.
Schreiber will get things restarted with the throw. And he'll do it again. Headed right back out of play there by Santiago. Numbers back for Fort Madison. Rung collects that one. Horn couldn't gather. Maybe third time's the charm here for Joseph Schreiber. One member of this back three for the Demons. Like to run a 3-5-2, can stretch it to a 4-5-1, and they're trying to stretch the Fort Madison defense here. Xavi Resendez can't run onto it. Resendez scored the second of 2 goals for Washington against Hillcrest in the dying seconds of that game. Chipped the Ravens goalkeeper when they were kind of going for broke, already down 1-0 in the final seconds. It was a mishit pass from him. Now Fort Madison can maybe run. Here's Horn with some space. Plays it forward to Rhaegar. Cut off. I think it was Resendez. Johan that time dropping back. Johan and Xavi Resendez. Both starters for this Demons team. Tackett trying to run onto that one. It's booted forward. Here again is Jonas Santiago. Working around a couple Washington defenders and got fouled by Neric Raimundo from behind. Poor free kick. But Fort Madison able to recycle after the mistouch there by Johan Resendez. Ball rolls out of play, though, when they tried to switch to this left-hand side. So Fort Madison, 8-7-1 last season. They finished second in the SEC. At 6-1-2, they won four of its final 5 games, Fort Madison. Bloodhounds ended up losing in the 3A6 semifinal, which was actually their first playoff game. Of course, smaller brackets at the 3A level in boys soccer. Fell at the hands to Mount Vernon, but 50 goals a year ago, and A fifth of those came against Washington. Connor Horn, familiar with this team. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists in the matchups last season. So Washington will certainly have the direction from Coach Sally Hart to try and keep him quiet. And that'll become easier right now because he's coming out of the game. Timely substitution by the Bloodhounds, led by Coach Kevin Wellman. Daniel Jenkins, a junior who's in his first year with this Fort Madison program, will check in for Horn. A couple of elder newcomers for the Bloodhounds. Brower misread that initially. Jenkins trying to cut it back. Sliding challenge from Schreiber was a good one. But he rolls it right into the path of Jake Hessig. Played forward, here's Santiago. Santiago tries to rip one and was always going to be difficult. Fort Madison trying to trouble tapping from range a little bit. But no real dangerous chances for either team as we've played just over 12 or just under 13 minutes of this one. That one takes a tough touch off Kronloggy, and Kevin Sells Gomez had to be quick to that one. Saw so many times in that game against Hillcrest, a couple one-on-one defensive situations for that back three of Washington. They dealt with the Hillcrest attackers really well for the most part, especially when the Ravens tried to ramp up once they went 1-0 down. It's a decent ball forward. Jenkins trying to run onto this. He'll get to it. Schreiber with another good challenge. Jenkins has it near the corner flag, trying to go around Joe Schreiber, the Demons Jr. Now trying to recycle. And Ramirez is right there. Ramirez turns on the Jets. Santi Ramirez into the box. Santi Ramirez pokes it with the right foot and forcing a save. And that will be the first corner of the match for Washington. So a quick chance coming out of nothing. It looked like Fort Madison was going to get across into the Washington box. Instead, it's Santiago quickly the other way. And Ramirez wins his side of corner. Good heads up by Ross there. I think maybe go with the left foot. He tries with the right. Good corner as well. It goes over Ross. Couldn't be controlled by Raimundo. Johan Resendez battling forward at the top of the box. Resendez swiped away by Rhaegar, who will launch it forward, and that could spring a Fort Madison counter now. It's Tackett. Cuts inside Brower. Tackett rolls it for Santiago. And he couldn't find the return ball to Jenkins. Up and down spells for both sides in quick succession. Jenkins looking lively as that right forward member. Looking like a 4-3-3. You've got the two midfielders kind of pushed up ahead. It's Santiago and Tanner Williams for Fort Madison, number 14 and 19, and 15, Jack Rhaegar below them, kind of playing that holding midfielder role. Ben Kronloggy plays a similar one for Washington. Different formation, though, for the Demons, with just the 3 at the back, and can sometimes flex it into 4 and then push 5 into the midfield with just the lone striker. Formations are important, but become very flexible as games go on. Fatigue starts to set in. It's a little bit warmer today than it was for the Demons earlier this week, so Coach Hart mentioned that her side battling the cold and the elements takes a toll on you mentally, as well as just the course of the game takes on you physically. Or Madison trying to burst forward. That's a nicely clipped through ball. I believe it was Hunter Wiegand on the pass. First time we've said his name tonight. Another all-SEC returner for the Bloodhounds. 4 goals, 3 assists for Wiegand last year. Jonah Tackett, the freshman, has some pace on him. Rhaegar gets it out wide. Can't find a teammate on the through ball, though. He was looking for Wiegand, who is posted up over on that left-hand side. Most of Fort Madison's attacks have come from the right so far. Braden Tappan taking his time getting play restarted. Nicely controlled there by Rhaegar on the attempted dish from Tappan. Williams out wide for Jake Hessig and couldn't find Jenkins. Narek, that one took a touch right off the knee of Raimundo there. Tappan calling off Kevin Sells Gomez. Out of play for a throw. That'll bring another FM sub. An 18-man roster for Fort Madison. Actually, smaller than Columbus and Hillcrest teams. Jake Hessig is making his way out. Carson Dixon, a senior defender, is back into the game. Of course, Fort Madison, a 0-0 draw. Don't have too many stats from one game on the season, and with one game on the season with no goals in it, but did have one yellow card. It was Carson Dixon who picked it up. Schreiber thought it was a throw. I think a foul was called beforehand, so quick free kick for Fort Madison. Bloodhounds looking for their first real sighted goal. I have to say it's been Santiago Ramirez with the best chance of the game. There's another shot hit from distance. I don't mind the idea, but it has taken a lot so far this year to beat Braden Tappan. He saved a penalty this year, so you are going to have to put those on frame. But certainly some of the thinking with those long-range efforts, especially from the midfielders, is if you have forwards ahead of them, if Tappan can't catch it or make the save cleanly, it can be spilled out to a teammate. But for the most part, those have been all of Fort Madison's chances. Just the one corner between these two teams. It belongs to Washington. Raimundo, that one hit off his hand. Ref didn't see it. Fort Madison wins it back anyway. Jenkins with some strong play. Tried to clip that one forward. And wins a throw off the feet of Schreiber. Dixon will take it. Schreiber wins it back. It's been busy so far, Joe Schreiber. The attempted switch. Not coming for Washington. Fort Madison trying to go quick. That was a long throw in by Jay Ellison. And per hour just boats it clear. Fort Madison able to keep it in near the touchline. Here's Rung with a little rare foray forward. Jenkins. Been good since coming in for Connor Horn. Tries to clip it to a teammate. Can't find it. Good build up here for Fort Madison. Trying to burst forward. Brower's there again. Ball comes out. First time hit by Santiago. It takes a deflection. And ends up in as the first goal for Fort Madison. Jonas Santiago hit it. And unfortunately, Washington just trying to put a body in the way. And that does sometimes happen. No chance for Braden Tappan, who was angling his body the other way, and it's 1-0 to the Bloodhounds. So you'll give Jonas Santiago credit for the goal. It was going on target when it did take the unfortunate deflection on the way through. So Santiago opens his account, first goal of the season as well for the Bloodhounds, and see how the Demons respond to that. Can't keep your head down, but I go back to what I was talking about with Fort Madison earlier in this half. They were willing to take shots from long range. Santiago, you might have thought the better choice would have been to hold it up and try and wait for a teammate to make a little run, roll it to somebody, but he decides to hit it first time, and it pays off for him. In the end, a smart play by the veteran Jonas Santiago. And 1-0 to Fort Madison. Not the first time Washington's trailed this season. Of course, went down early in the second half against Columbus. Able to come back and win that game 3-2. Before Santiago, he gets his first goal, scored 3 last year and had 3 assists. Horn, of course, the leading returner. 18 and 5 for him. But Fort Madison has had pretty positive play with him on the bench. He is right now over on the Bloodhound sidelines getting ready to come back in. So just another attacker that Washington's going to have to deal with, and they have to deal with this chance as well. A long-range attempt saved by Tappan. Good effort. I believe that was Rhaegar who hit it. Tappan equal that time. That's been the best effort save for Santiago's hit so far this match. But it has been all Fort Madison for the past about 10 minutes here, pretty much since that Washington corner. The Bloodhounds have been in the Demons' half. Washington just trying to figure out this FM attack here, how they can maybe counter it. And here comes Horn. He will take out Tackett. And so Horn will slide out to the right-hand side. Looks like Jenkins will actually drop back to one of those midfielder roles. And number 15, Jack Rhaegar, who you just saw put some power behind that last shot, will go up front for the Bloodhounds. Of course, worth noting, too, that I believe Washington still without Edwin Cortez, their leading scorer from a season ago. Schreiber, nice touch to find Santiago Ramirez, but his pass, looking for the switch, only found the foot of a Bloodhound player. A good ball forward as well. Fort Madison, chance to cross this, and I don't know if that was a miscue or he was looking for a kind of trying to slide a pass back to a teammate there, but Washington will take it either way. Karan Lagi. Can he spring in Santiago Ramirez? Trying to head it around a couple of FM defenders. Sels Gomez feeds Karan Lagi, who couldn't turn around past Jenkins. Ball played forward. Rhaegar, can he get to it before it gets to the touchline? He can. Rhaegar plays it back. Chance to cross. Slid across the face of goal. Horn was right there, but he's offside. Not often you'd see a guy like Connor Horn missing the ball like that, but it wouldn't have mattered. Instead, Tappan will take the free kick near Salazar. And Kevin Raimundo set to check back in for Washington. Johan Resendez to the second ball. Trying to play it through to Xavi. Excuse me, Alicos Flores into the match. Playing up front. Solid substitute attacker for Washington. Hunter Wigand plays it forward. Rhaegar's trying to run onto this, trying to get the right side of Brower, and does. Jack Rhaegar, 2-0. calmly taken in the end by the freshman, who looks like he's going to be a strong member of this Bloodhounds team for a few seasons to come. So with just under 16 minutes to play in half number one, the Bloodhounds double their advantage, and their attack has looked pretty composed thus far. That one takes the flick off ahead of a FM defender. Can Washington maybe use their high press? Or Madison look pretty composed building out of the back. But here's Chavi Resendez trying to chop it back for Salazar. Raimundo gets a foot on it, but Fort Madison able to clear again. Brower boots it away. And got to the feet of Salazar, but Eric Raimundo with a push just before. Quickly taken free kick, looking for the feet of Rhaegar again. He's got some space and provides a good through ball. But to a one Hunter Wigand who is in an offside position. Santiago has also made it 2 goals in as many seasons against Washington. He scored in the first game against the Demons back on April 21st of last year. And they're in again, Fort Madison. Tappan slides out to get it. Through ball just out of the reach of Tanner Williams, and the Demons trying to just compose themselves a little bit for this final 15 minutes. Fort Madison is smelling blood in the water after getting a quick second. Here's Niels Kempfer, another first-year player in defense for Fort Madison. Horn rolls it forward for Rhaegar. Turns his man, Jack Rhaegar. Fakes the cross, gets it around Brower. Can clip it in toward the back post, no one there. Daniel Jenkins was up for it, but Rhaegar couldn't find him. Fort Madison wins it right back. Booted clear by Brower. Salazar now up there. Salazar trying to find Ramirez. Santi jockeying with a few Bloodhounds defenders, and they're able to get it off his feet. Washington counterattacks have just had the life taken out of them at times by the men at the back for Fort Madison. Another offside call against the Bloodhounds. Brower goes quickly with the free kick, headed forward by Rung. One back by Kronlagi. Good sliding challenge. Raimundo tries to poke it forward. Salazar able to turn, or excuse me, Ramirez tried to roll it in the path of Kevin Raimundo, couldn't find him. A decent move for Washington. And they build on that. That one stays in. Jenkins still with it. Kronlagi slides it out of play. Horn, will he look to maybe throw this into the 18-yard box? Tries to loft it over to Jonah Santiago. Santiago again. Turns, nice ball forward. Another chance here for Fort Madison. The shot saved by Tappan. Ball played long. Those can be an option for Washington as they look to try and get goals quickly on the counter. Ball played out wide. Throw in coming and comes quickly for Fort Madison. They'll do it again on the far side with Hunter Wiggett. Wiggett, nice turn there by Jenkins. Excuse me, Rhaegar back up front. He's been everywhere on the forward line for FM. That one able to be turned clear. Salazar couldn't get it on the quick one-touch passing by his teammates. FM trying to build again. Jenkins weaves around one. Leaves it for Wiggin. Wiggin from range. Saved off the crossbar by Tappan. Good effort by Hunter Wiggin. It'll be a corner for the Bloodhounds. Tappan, it was a save he needed to make, and he just got a palm to it off the crossbar. Corner taken quickly for Fort Madison. Trying to get toward the top of the box. Worked away well by Xavi Resendez. Out for a Bloodhounds throw. Under 10 minutes to play in half number one, and Fort Madison quickly on the attack again. Sliding challenge by Brower. Rolled forward, a chance to get the cross in. Tappan right there. It's one of the outside backs for the Bloodhounds, I believe. Stefan Bartlett, who's over there playing left back with the cross. Two more substitutes coming in for the Bloodhounds. Wiggin will take a break, as will Tanner Williams. Clay Smith into the game for the first time today, as is Joseph Lastana II. Raimundo wins it back for Washington. Ramirez holds it up. Tried to find Kevin Raimundo. Pass was behind him. Horn unable to get free, though. Raimundo brings it down again. Horn challenging, Raimundo winning. Gives it to Salazar. Neri Salazar cuts it back. Salazar to Kevin Raimundo, who scooped the shot past the near post. It's going to be difficult to put it on frame there with a first-time shot. But again, Washington hasn't let their heads completely drop. Fort Madison, for a few minutes, looked like they could add a quick third after scoring its second. Any positive attack from the Demons will be a good sign going into halftime. Under 8 to play. Raimundo, he's been busy in this first half.
Spread out here, guys. Keep playing, Black.
FM back on it. Lastana. One back by Washington. And a foul over there called on Lastana. Brower will run up to take it. Can free kicks, no matter the range, have been a bright spot for Washington in its first two games? Brower's delivered some. Ben Kronlage's been good on set pieces. Let's see what Brower can deliver here. Clips it forward. Raimundo able to get there first. But Fort Madison cuts it out again. Nice challenge, though, by Washington, and rolled forward. Maybe a chance here for the Demons. No offside called on Xavi Resendez. It was a good initial win. I think it was Cels Gomez who came up and got it. Missed the number. My apologies, but a good challenge. Washington just trying to have a little bit more impetus in its defensive pressure. That was well won by Schreiber. Resendez has it taken away. Ramirez runs it down. Now here's Flores trying to move his way past the Bloodhounds defender Dixon. Niels Kempfer gets in front of it. Poked out of play. It'll stay with Washington. Can they commit more numbers forward? Can they maybe get a goal here as we approach 5 minutes to play in this first half? Salazar takes the throw into the box. And hit well. And a deflection will give Washington a second corner of this half. Kronlage will come back in.
Well, that's one down the street.
I didn't see it running at first. I didn't know if I needed to call Jimmy.
Oh, and the ball went over the fence and down the road. There's a hill back there, so that's going to be a long run for the ball boy behind the net. Corner comes in, back to the action. It's down. It's there for Washington. The save was missed by Ross. But the Demons couldn't turn it home that time. Another really well-taken set piece. Kronlage. Can Kronlage hit one? Ross, the save. I think it took a deflection on its way through. Better play by the Demons. Fort Madison was the better side after it scored its second goal for about 5 minutes, and Washington got some control back in the game. Can they add a goal? That's going to be potentially a yellow. And it will be in the books there for Santiago Ramirez. First card of the season for the Demons just came sliding in from behind. Just a freshman. I admire his aggression really on both sides of the pitch, Ramirez. But that one always going to be called.
Watch the run. Yeah, reset the clock. 4:16 on the clock, please.
So it'll be a free kick for the Bloodhounds.
Four, 1-6.
Four, 1-6.
Yeah.
1-6, yes.
Yeah, 4-1.
See what the Bloodhounds can conjure up from this set piece. See some of the players staying loose. It's still a little bit bit tricky.
Woo!
A lot of pressure.
Don't put
bit
the rookie in here.
cold out with the weather.
Press the button, see what happens.
Washington cuts off that free kick. Raimundo couldn't find a teammate. Eric's had the right idea with a lot of these passes, trying to go quick. It's a Demons team that we talked to them preseason. They wanted to play that
That's all good.
tiki-taka style that Barcelona tries to emulate. That's a lot of one-touch passing. It requires, players to be within 5-10 yards of each other so you can make passes quickly, move the ball through a defense, as well as potentially move a defense around with their shape and try and cut through it. Raimundo's got the right idea there in the center of the park for Washington. Just needs those passes to be crisp almost 100% of the time.
Easy, Miko.
Johan Resendez wins it back for Washington. Kronlage's got a little bit of space here. Could potentially play a through ball. And does, looking for Neri Salazar. Out for it was Ross. Another good chance for Washington. 3 minutes to play in half number one. FM gets back on it. Played forward, couldn't find the feet there of believe that was Clay Smith charging up the left-hand side of the Bloodhounds. Lane Rung over for Kempfer and mishandled by Carson Dixon. Dixon just boots it clear. Able to find a teammate, actually. It's Tackett. Cut off by Kevin Sells Gomez. Well done with that challenge. Kronlage's trying to win it off of Lane Rung. Was able to slip it out wide. Raimundo wins it back. Raimundo again. Kronlage now there. Plays it back for Johan Resendez. It's intercepted. Resendez. Kevin Raimundo, nice ball to find Salazar. Salazar plays it back for Raimundo. Raimundo looking for a cross to Kronlage. It's hooked away well by Rhaegar, who's back into the game and playing in a deeper position. Here's Connor Horn, the Bloodhound star. Had a quiet first half. Jenkins sliding challenge by Alicos Flores, who's run over then by Jenkins with under 90 seconds to play. So Washington will have to go quickly if they want to hunt a goal in this final minute, but Fort Madison looking like they're going to take a 2-goal advantage and could maybe look for a third here. Jenkins working with Kronlage. No foul called on either side. Both went to ground. FM wins it again. A little late spurt. Lastana. Rhaegar tries to roll it through. Now Smith can play the ball back, but it's won back by Washington. .30 seconds to play here in this first half. Raimundo pokes it for Schreiber. Schreiber just spring one. Quick counter forward. Raimundo's charging for it. Ross is going to get there first. Ross's ball goes all the way through. Able to be collected initially by Tackett, and now a long-range strike again is caught, and that will be the last action of half number 1. Braden Tappan will boot it long, so the Bloodhounds will go into the break with a 2-0 advantage. Washington, a little bit of a hole to climb out of halftime. We'll see how the Demons respond. We'll talk about the first half of action on the other side. You're watching Washington Demon Boys Soccer here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation, Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
I love helping people. I always wanted to help people. That's what I love the most.
We do a really good job of growing our own, but also we are able to take your skills, adapt them to what we need, or grow them as well.
Our leadership group here, they are actively involved, always supportive of our new ideas and innovation here at the hospital.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics. Apply today.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you.
Our communities were founded on the strength of local farmers. At CBI Bank and Trust, you can aim high, bank strong. With personalized service and trusted relationships, we'll help take your ag business to the next level with the right loan for your needs. CBI Bank and Trust is here for you.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road, and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
Kick it with Fairway all soccer season long with all the spring deals and variety you're looking for. Stay in the game with all the fresh deals and snacks to fuel your championship season. Make Fairway your home field advantage.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation, Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
I love helping people. I always wanted to help people. That's what I love the most.
We do a really good job of growing our own, but also we are able to take your skills, adapt them to what we need, or grow them as well.
Our leadership group here, they are actively involved, always supportive of our new ideas and innovation here at the hospital.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics. Apply today.
back here at Washington Wellness Park as we welcome you in to the halftime show presented by our good friends at Fairway. About to get underway for the second half between Washington and Fort Madison as the Bloodhounds with a 2-0 lead. Jonas Santiago and Jack Rhaegar, the 2 goals for the Bloodhounds, came in fairly quick succession. It looked like Fort Madison was threatening to potentially find a third goal, but Washington sort of weathered that spell of play and had some decent runs at the Fort Madison net toward the end of that first half, which could be promising for the Demons. They face their biggest deficit of the season so far. We're only down 1-0 against Columbus, managed to turn that into a win. That goal did come in the second half. We'll see if the Demons can have a response in this second. They're going to have to contain a speedy Jack Rhaegar. Connor Horn looks lively, hasn't been on the score sheet yet. He got a hat trick in the second clash between Washington, or excuse me, the first clash of the season between Washington and Fort Madison last season. So that is notable. He will be one to watch up front, but it has been just a pretty controlled effort within the midfield and front line of the Bloodhounds that has just been able to put enough sustained pressure on that Washington back three. It's, of course, a talented back three. Coach Hart has praised the growth in their chemistry, a group of juniors in front of Braden Tappan, who is also a junior. And it's certainly one that I think is going to be a strong defense, and we'll learn from games like this, but can they maybe have some learning moments without conceding too many more? Can the Washington front line connect a couple of more opportunities together? Neri Salazar latched onto a couple of through balls. Santiago Ramirez looked the most lively among Washington's forward players. Eric Raimundo trying to pull the strings in midfield has just been a little off on a couple of passes, but if he can work some together, could be big for Washington. Fort Madison trying to get the second half off with a bang here, and they've got it forward. Opportunity as they work it into the box, and Washington manages to get it clear. Pass just booted out of play. It'll be a throw for the Demons. Ben Kronlage will come over to take it. Kronlage, a senior, has already had a strong impact on the season, scored and set up another, and might be setting up a third here of the year for Washington. Ball was loose. Ross had to make the catch. He was looking for Braden Clough on the through ball. Clough starting up front. Giovanni Martinez also up there for the Demons. Ball played forward quickly the other way for Fort Madison. This is an opportunity for the Bloodhounds. And did Tappan get a touch to that? I believe he did. Well done. Jonah Tackett was in. He had a one-on-one, and Tappan dives to the floor, able to get his hand on the ball. So still a corner. Danger not all the way averted for Washington, and it's swung in and headed back out of play by Kronlage. So Fort Madison will do it again from the other side. FM, can they find a quick third here? That would be maybe doomsday for Washington, even with plenty of half to go down to a 3-0 deficit. That one's mistimed by Jake Hessig in the back. Haven't seen too many issues for the Fort Madison defenders. Eric Raimundo throws it to Xavi Resendez, trying to work his way around Hessig. And Hessig will shepherd it and play it off of Resendez for a goal kick. That's the other thing with Fort Madison in this first half. There looks like 3 and sometimes 4 at the back have been really, really disciplined. Hessing's had a solid day. They, of course, have Lane Rung, who so valuable when you can have an all-SEC player returning for you at center back. Washington knows a thing or two about that with Fletcher Brower. But, of course, Rung is just in command back there. Kronlage trying to win it back. And does. Narek Raimundo with a quick strike, and it will roll out wide. Xavi Resendez is over there challenging and able to force Hessig to play it out. He's kept Hessig busy in the first moments of this second half. Will he throw it into the box now? Resendez. Raimundo trying to bring it down, and Jack Rhaegar able to get it clear, but only to the feet of Ben Kronlage. Can Washington keep the pressure on? Kronlage trying to play it through. Raimundo trying to win it back. Narek Raimundo couldn't tee himself up. Wigand goes around one, and a foul called against Wigand. Came in late on Flores. And will get booked for it. That's 2 cards apiece, and actually 2 cards for both of the number 11s in this game. Hunter Wigand and Santiago Ramirez for Washington had one in the first half. Again, nothing super malicious about that. It will look worse than it was intended to be, just late to the ball. But fortunately, late to the ball lands in the referee's book typically. So Ben Kronlage will deliver, and the real effect of a card like this isn't the yellow itself, but the opportunity it gives Washington. They scored from a very similar position to this against Hillcrest. Kronlage will go have a chat with his players up front. Actually, no, he got called off the free kick, so it'll be Fletcher Brower. Brower was who delivered the free kick. It was Kronlage who was able to knock it to Kevin Raimundo. That's how they took the lead against Hillcrest. Brower chips it in! And, oh boy, that almost challenged Keelan Ross. He was equal to it. Those can always be nervy. They can swerve around in the wind sometimes and become challenging for goalkeepers. Ross composed that time. Just a sophomore as well, Keelan. He played over 900 minutes in net last year for Fort Madison. Gave up 27 of their goals, but made 83 saves. He is their number 1. It was actually Tanner Williams who played the second most, Carson Dixon, rather, who's wearing number 16 in white today, played the second most minutes, kind of split time a little bit with Ross in the Fort Madison goal, but looks like this is Keelan's job this season. That one played forward. Now Jenkins can run onto this. Can Jenkins create a chance for himself? He clips one. It deflects off of Tappan, hammer toward goal, blocked by Joe Schreiber. And that was a goal-saving clearance, and now Schreiber ducks out of the way and lets Tappan grab it. Outstanding last-ditch defending by Joe Schreiber. From my angle, that looked like it was goal-bound unless Schreiber got his body in the way.
That's how I missed my time last time. I didn't see the card.
Yeah, I just didn't know we stopped it for that.
Kronlage able to turn. Thought about an early delivery. Now sends it forward, looking for the feet of Braden Clough. He's getting some big extended minutes here to start this second half. Cross comes in. It's a good one, or at least a hard-hit one. Can sometimes look better than it actually is, which ended up being the case there. Went harmlessly out for a tap-and goal kick. We'll bring a couple of subs back in. Tappan plays it forward. Ramirez has it near midfield, being jostled by a few Fort Madison defenders, and the Bloodhounds able to win it back. Out wide for Connor Horn. Horn into the box. Horn plays it across, and it's scrambled home. Is the flag up? It is on the far side. I think Horn was onside, but Jonah Tackett, who worked his way into a dangerous position, well, that was why it was a dangerous position. That was so advanced it was behind the Washington defenders, and he's called for offside. So danger averted that time for the Demons, but that is the skill that Connor Horn brings out there on that right-hand side. Very speedy, good with his feet. And a good delivery on the low cross. Demons trying to work it forward. Fort Madison wins it back near midfield, trying to, again, establish that middle of the park. Can't emphasize enough how important that can be for a team who wants to stay in front if you're Fort Madison and who wants to try and get back into this game if you're Washington. The Demons win it back. Can they break forward quickly? I think that's Ramirez again. Santi Ramirez just so active, drops back and can carry the ball, 40, 50 yards forward from a defensive position if he needs to. 1-1 back again. Schreiber this time, looking for the feet of Raimundo. Lane Rung is back there and just hooks it clear. It'll be a throw for Washington. Rung just composed. It's similar to Fletcher Brower, two just really good center backs in this game. One of 11 returners for this Fort Madison team. Got eight newcomers. I mentioned only 2 of them are freshmen, and Jack Rhaegar and Jonah Tackett, who have both made their presence felt, to be fair to them. Ball into the box for Washington here. Can Neri get a shot off? Salazar able to be cleared. Another throw for the Demons, and no, ref changes his tune. I think the center ref overruled his assistant there. That could spring Fort Madison. Brower sprinting over to get there and beats Horn to it, keeps it in play as well. Touchdown well by the Demons, Ramirez. And trying to win it back, but too aggressive was Rhaegar. So Jack will get called for the foul, and it will be a free kick for Kronlage. Will he be called off it again in favor of Fletcher Brower? He will indeed. So Fletcher to deliver. Free kick hit hard and too much underneath it in the end. Ross able to catch. But again, the more opportunities Washington can win, the more strong they can be in midfield with the soccer ball, and if they can work their way to getting fouled, they can set up opportunities for crosses. Those free kicks are as good as corners for this Demons team. It's felt like that so far this season. This guy can also be dangerous in spring encounters. Braden Tappan forces the Fort Madison backline to deal with this. Neri Salazar is chasing a few defenders, and it's scrambled out of bounds by Hessig. That'll give Xavi Resendez a throw-in. Gives it to Raimundo. It hits off his knee again. So Fort Madison will go back in possession. 10 minutes gone, almost 11 actually, in half number 2. And Jack Rhaegar, the lively freshman, is going to take a seat for Fort Madison. Does look like he's running a little bit with might have picked up a knock, a little bit of a limp there, so maybe going to just take a break or get some attention. Ball thrown out of play back to Washington. Here's Salazar. Cuts it back. Neri Salazar hammers one. Ross was there. That was a great effort by Salazar. He saw Fort Madison in the first half take some of those long-range hits. Neri Salazar unafraid to do so there. And boy, if he can get the right bend behind that ball, he's got the power certainly to put it on frame and potentially challenge an opposing goalkeeper. Ross is a tall figure back there, though. Here's Salazar again. This time looking to feed a teammate. Johan and Santi were both over there. Throw in Lane Rung gets first to it. Johan Resendez trying to find Salazar again, and I think that'll get called for a foul throw potentially. And no, a free kick actually. Salazar fouling the FM defender there. Lane Rung just playing it into space. Horn can run onto this. Connor Horn does get there. Connor Horn puts on the Jets. Another low cross tap and equal to it. Ball still at the top of the box for the Bloodhounds. Cleared away again. Fort Madison now have to recycle, and that is the speed of Connor Horn on full display. Kronlagi gets the 1-2 from Salazar, trying to spring Raimundo. Unable to do so there. Ramirez. Xavi Resendez was too far from it. Ross will take his time and send it into the cloudy skies. Jenkins jockeying with Resendez. The two number 5s. Resendez slides in. Jenkins was fouled. Refs have called similar so far this game, and unsurprising they do so there. Lane Rung will play it in quickly. Gets it forward. Another opportunity maybe for the Bloodhounds. Scrambled away. Wiggin trying to work his way around on that right-hand side. The right wings in both halves have been the more dangerous avenues for Fort Madison. Horn wins it back into the box. Another cross comes in, headed away that time by Flores. Danger still not all the way averted for Washington. Challenging for it is Santiago, the scorer of the first goal of today's match. 2-0 lead for the Bloodhounds. They both came in the first half. Santiago and Rhaegar got him. Rhaegar's on the bench. Santiago still busy in that middle of the park with the captain's armband. Kronlagi has been as well, but he has it taken off of him. Ball played forward to Horn. Horn trying to get around Brower. A crunching challenge by the junior Demon defender, and it will deflect back off for a goal kick. Back off for Madison, I should say. That'll allow both teams to make a sub. Jay Ellison coming in, as well as Clay Smith for FM. Out for the Demons is Xavi Resendez, or excuse me, Johan Resendez. Kronlagi, can he bring it down and find a teammate? Tries to get it over to Xavi Resendez. Xavi working it around Jay Ellison. Xavi, still Xavi in the box. Resendez, the shot saved by Ross. Boy, excellent individual effort there by Xavi Resendez. The shot, unfortunately, didn't have the power behind it to beat the FM keeper. Ball played forward, and Raimundo was in an offside position. Kronlagi is fouled, so a free kick right back to Washington after the offside call. The last one from this range by Fletcher Brower was too strong and handled easily by Ross. Can he put one in a more dangerous area this time? Fletcher Brower toward the top of the box. It skims under the foot of Kronlagi. Right idea. Ben unable to bring it down. Ross goes long with the free kick, or the goal kick, or the goal punt. Wow. Third time's a charm. One back by Washington. The Demons have been much improved really since that second goal went in. Fort Madison's created a couple of chances for themselves, but Washington's had plenty of forays forward. That Resendez shot coming off the right-hand side was the best opportunity of the match thus far for Washington. Can it spur them on a little bit here? Neri Salazar worked away and just hoofed clear by Fort Madison. Kronlage. One back by Wigand. A good ball forward by Hunter Wigand. Brower's got to deal with this. Horn ran over Kevin Sells Gomez away from the ball. Before Madison have it here with Tackett. Out wide for Connor Horn. Horn has a little bit of space, rolls it into the box. Brower clears. That'll be a throw in for Fort Madison. 22 minutes to play in half number 2. 2-0 Bloodhounds. Fort Madison looking for their third win in a row against Washington, and that shot goes wide. Last Demons win actually came in the postseason, the Class 3A Region 2 playoffs. The Demons won that game 2-1 back in 2024. That was 2 seasons ago. Edwin Cortez, who is out for Washington, actually scored in that match. Rain starting to come down at Washington Wellness Park. It's been a dreary match all afternoon. That maybe help one team or the other. Or Madison gets the throw in quickly. Played out of play for a goal kick for Braden Tappan. Talented junior goaltender for Washington. His first season back since that 2024 campaign, of course, that ended with that playoff victory. Tappan did not play in 2025. He made 15 starts at 111 saves in 2024. Excellent players. Received a ton of praise from his teammates and Coach Hart. Can Washington counter off of this? Pass through the middle was cut off. Played forward. Raimundo's trying to run onto it. Santiago's going to get there first. Or excuse me, that's Wigand over there, number 11 for Fort Madison. Takes a deflection off of Ramirez. A little bit of space opening up there in the center of the park for both teams. Which one will take advantage? Salazar wins it on another giveaway by the Bloodhounds. Neri with the turn. Neri trying to find Xavi Resendez. Takes a deflection off Ross. He kind of sort of half touched it with the back of his hand and in the end able to get there. Maybe just felt confident that Xavi wouldn't be able to run it down. Ramirez. Neri Salazar can't get it, can't bring it down with his feet. Ross, another comfortable save. If you want to call it that, more of a comfortable collection for Ross. Now Brower able to get it clear with the chasing Connor Horn. Tanner Williams. Santiago out wide. Low cross into the arms of Tappan. Those have been Fort Madison's best opportunities in this second half. The crosses that have stayed on the floor, those can be super dangerous. We already saw one own goal. That can be an own goal machine. You cross those balls from the right or left wing across the face of goal, and a defender who's facing toward his goal, tracking back, trying to get it, just can't turn his body away in time, and it deflects into the net. Those can be so frustrating and very difficult to deal with. But here's Kronlage, a chance for him to fire. Ross is there. Ben Kronlage teeing one up. I'm talking about potential dangers for Washington's defense, and the Demons are saying, hold on now, Jack. Let our attack cook a little bit. Kronlage again. Kronlage turns. Kronlage trying to deliver over to Resendez. Chavi trying to challenge. Fort Madison trying to play out of danger and keeping their composure well. There's Clay Smith. Wigan now, or excuse me, Santiago. He's never going to give it away easily. But unable to find a return ball to Stefan Berlet, and now a stoppage. Ref giving some words here to the Fort Madison side. Have to get things sorted. We're underway with the restart. Berlet, ball rolled forward. Wigan trying to run it down and does. Plays it forward for Horn, who's offside. I don't know if there was one offside call in either of Washington's first two matches. There have been plenty called on the Bloodhounds. One called on Narek Raimundo for the Demons. A lot of attacking impetus from this Fort Madison team. Sometimes put them in jeopardy. They get a little bit too hungry to get in behind the Demon defense. It's going to have to start getting toward desperation mode for Washington. Approaching 15 minutes to play, trying to get one goal back at least, and that's a good ball out wide. Neri Salazar plays in Santiago Ramirez. Ramirez trying to take it around his defender. Gets to the byline, and it's one back well. That's Wigand over there. Ramirez back on it, though. And Wigand able to scamper away. Good effort by Santi. Gets back on it. Plays it across for Neri Salazar. Brings it down. Salazar and Lane Rung. These Fort Madison defenders just composed. Goes out of play. It'll be a Washington throw. So the Demons, as Braden Clough will come back in. Jay Ellison will sub out for Fort Madison. Carson Dixon is in defense. Ball takes a touch off a Bloodhound, and Ross over to get it. Ross sends it long. Kronlage intercepts. Santiago gets on it. One back. Flores does well. Flores can pick out a teammate. Rolls it for Raimundo. The shot saved by Ross. Raimundo tried to tee up an early one. Couldn't beat the Fort Madison keeper, but again, Washington has looked much better in attack. Just been a bit, that last through ball or that shot has just been a bit wayward for them. But this defense has been commanding and holding Fort Madison out, giving those attackers the opportunity. Bloodhounds looking for a third to really put this game away. And Wigand navigating through two defenders, gets it over for Berlet. Stefan Burlett chips one, and I could hear it from here. His foot went into the ground before it hit the ball. Anyone who's played this sport knows that feeling. It is the worst. Fort Madison wins it back. Here's Santiago. A throw-in coming for the Bloodhounds. Washington wins it back. Raimundo trying to get a foot on it. Unable to turn and counter. Ball headed forward. For Madison, you have to credit their composure when they've been in possession. It's been rock solid so far. Can Washington force a mistake? The Bloodhounds, that's kind of what it's all about now. You're playing the clock as much as the match. You don't need to press too far forward to really force your way to getting the third. You have the 2-goal cushion. Of course, even if Washington score, you've got that extra insurance. Of course, they'd like the third, but they can kind of command the rest of the game and keep the ball away from Washington. That's just as good at this point. They're bringing it forward here. Horn, who switched over to the left-hand side. And a handball called. I believe that is Jenkins back there. Actually, Tanner Williams called for the handball, number 19, in midfield. Rung heads it for Williams. Over to Santiago. Early ball trying to play in. Horn. It's a decent one, just a little bit too much on it. And in the rain, you have to take about 20% off of your passes for the power that you'd usually put, depending on the distance. Rung. Clough. Kronlage can recycle. Flores trying to battle and doing so with Smith. Flores wins that one. It's been good in the midfield, Flores. Xavi Resendez, that one off of Burlett. Another substitute, Kevin Raimundo, will come back in. Clough will go to the bench. Some good minutes there for Clough. Kronlage holding off Santiago, but Jonah able to win it. Smith. That's going to roll out of play before Smith can get there. Can Washington conjure up at least a consolation goal, or will Fort Madison get a third? Horn trying to turn. Horn does turn. Horn feeding it over for Burlett. Burlett drops it back. Early cross is blocked. But now Santiago picking it up with some space and feeding it in. Williams trying to work it outside. Santiago. Wigan taken away by Schreiber. Santiago's there, though. Santiago now working against Schreiber. And it'll go out of play and stay with the Demons. Takes a deflection last off of Santiago. Jonah able to play it back. Lane Rung with some time. Plays it out wide. Here's Dixon. Trying to go early toward Horn. Couldn't find him. And Ramirez get the switch on. It's a good ball by Ramirez. Looking for Kevin Raimundo, who stumbled. Great switch of play there by Santi Ramirez, but his teammate unable to gather the ball in the final third. Now Horn has a little bit of space. Horn cuts it back. Rolls it forward for Jonah Santiago. Sals Gomez trying to just poke it clear, but only gets it as far as the waiting Jay Ellison. Horn unable to get that out wide. Santiago, the crunching challenge by Kronlagi, and he'll get called for a foul. Guess it was deemed that he got the foot first before the ball there. Not sure about if I agree necessarily with that one, but Santiago nevertheless back on it here. He plays it out wide. Wigand trying to work his way around a couple of Demon defenders and does. Hunter toward the byline. Out of play, it will be a Demons throw. Now Santiago will make his way out. Maybe for the last time today. He's put in a lot of work in that midfield, Jonah Santiago. Kronlagi. Ball miss hit in the back. That is Niels Kempfer. With 7 minutes to play, the Demons got to be in a hurry here. Fort Madison has been in a little bit more control over the past 5-10 minutes, and just a speculative shot. But you saw Columbus score to bring 1 goal back late against Washington, made the final 90 seconds a little bit nervy. Can the Demons maybe do the same here? There's obviously far more time than that still, but either way, you have to like Washington's response after that second goal went in. They kept their composure, haven't allowed a third. Really, Fort Madison's best chances in the match to get a third goal came in the immediate moments after that second when they were kind of spurred on a little bit, and Washington was able to gather themselves. That defense, again, looking really good. And here's Johan Resendez, who was teed up by Ben Kronlagi. Couldn't hit it on the volley. We're going to go short. Xavi Resendez trying to run it down. Johan Resendez does run it down. No quitting these Demons in the rainy, cold conditions in a tough battle against a team that's going to be at the top of this Southeast Conference. Washington trying to put themselves in the mix as well this year. Well done by Joseph Schreiber. He has had no give up. He has been busy over there. Got pressured by 2 defenders and a foul. Actually, offside is the call, I believe. Way the ref's indicating with his flag. But Schreiber, over on that left center back spot, has been a very, very busy player. Primary attack for Fort Madison has come down that right-hand side. This is a series the Bloodhounds lead 21-10 heading into this game. 10-2 record for them since the decade started. FM has been second, and first in this SEC. In the SEC over the last 3 seasons, they have been a hallmark of the conference in boys soccer. A tough team to beat under coach Kevin Wellman. Not many have gotten the best of them in this division. But again, not for a lack of fighting for the Demons. That one goes out of play. Actually, a ref calling a foul there. I thought it was just a throw over there on that far side. Didn't quite have the angle on it, but nevertheless, Joe Schreiber can maybe launch a free kick into the box here. Can this be something for the Demons? Schreiber into the box, it bounces. Kronlage wanted a handball. Appeal is denied. I'll play toward the middle of the field. Nice one, nicely won there by Washington. It was Johan Resendez. Now Xavi Resendez could be in here. Xavi Resendez, shot blocked. Carson Dixon there, but Xavi and Johan Resendez have not given up in the final third. Another corner for Washington. They're going to take it quickly. 3:13 to go. Can they get a late goal here? The corner, a poor one though, right into the hands of Ross. Xavi Resendez, the two best opportunities. He scored the best goal of the season from about 40, 45 yards out, chipping the Hillcrest keeper last game to secure a 2-0 win for Washington. It's looking like a 2-0 win here for Fort Madison, unless the Demons can do something in the dying embers. Horn thought about running that down. Tappan's going to let it roll into his box. He'll send it long. Tappan, Raimundo, and Xavi Resendez are both up there. Ball bounces. Narek Raimundo's on the end of it, but Ross comes out to collect before Raimundo could get a touch. Kevin Raimundo just fires that one out of play. Just a little bit of panic there from Kevin Raimundo. Scored himself against Hillcrest. But that's sometimes the plays you have to make, just desperately trying to hunt a goal, which would likely be a consolation at this point. Ball booted high, hanging, headed down by Flores, right to Kronlage. Kronlage pokes it well for Eric Raimundo. Almost said Kevin again, getting the same last names almost mixed up there. Narek with an opportunity, and it took a deflection off of Fort Madison on its way through, so another corner. Approaching a minute and a half to play. Kronlage clips it toward the penalty spot, and Lane Rung, who else is there? Opportunity maybe from the outside of the box. Resendez, back post was Raimundo, who I think was offsides anyway. Xavi went for it. And Fort Madison will probably see out the final minute here. So Washington, its first defeat of the season. Again, it will be back to try and avenge that against Highland, a Husky side that has lost 10-0 in its first two games, as well as a 2-1 loss to Sigourney Keota. They will come in here. That game will be at 7. We'll have a doubleheader on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. The Washington girls soccer team against Central Lee in game number 1. Kronlage was bumped off the ball. Nothing doing from the ref. Lane Rung will take it short from his goalkeeper. Plays it for Lestina. For Fort Madison, they will head back home. Their first home game of the season. They'll play Keokuk, another SEC foe, at 5 p.m. That game won't happen until April 13th, so a few days off for the Bloodhounds. Narek Raimundo with an opportunity late! And how about a consolation for Washington? And it comes at the feet of Narek Raimundo. There are only a few seconds left on the clock. That apparently is going to be a theme this year for the Demons. So they'll put, I think, 10 seconds back on. And so Washington will just have to bum rush the ball here. But Narek Raimundo, 2 goals in the first 3 games for the Demons. That one's deflected. Can they get a shot off? Ball just booted out of play. And the buzzer will sound. So an eventful end of proceedings. And did the ball hit the camera? I think it did. We've got a blurry camera. We've got a goal for Washington. It's a 2-1 win for Fort Madison. But another wild ending for the second straight game here at Washington Wellness Park. We'll send it to a quick break. We'll be back and recap the action and maybe check on our camera as well. Fort Madison knocking off Washington 2-1. We'll be back in a moment on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you.
Our communities were founded on the strength of local farmers. At CBI Bank and Trust, you can aim high, bank strong. With personalized service and trusted relationships, we'll help take your ag business to the next level with the right loan for your needs. CBI Bank and Trust is here for you.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road, and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
Kick it with Fairway all soccer season long with all the spring deals and variety you're looking for. Stay in the game with all the fresh deals and snacks to fuel your championship season. Make Fairway your home field advantage.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation, Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
I love helping people. I always wanted to help people. That's what I love the most.
We do a really good job of growing our own, but also we are able to take your skills, adapt them to what we need, or grow them as well.
Our leadership group here, they are actively involved, always supportive of our new ideas and innovation here at the hospital.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics. Apply today.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you.
Welcome back to hopefully a couple of working cameras here at not one here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. This is the Community First Credit Union post-game show. We got a camera going down. That was one of the more eventful moments of a 2-1 win for Fort Madison over Washington. So welcome you once again to the Commute First Credit Union post-game show. And inside the broadcast setup, Jack Knowlton, along with my producer, Peter Camp, who had to make a dead sprint out to the field to check on the camera that was taken out. I forget who on Fort Madison. But nevertheless, the Bloodhounds also taken out the Demons today, winning 2-1, scored both goals in the first half. It was Jonas Santiago and Jack Rhaegar. Got 2 goals in fairly quick succession. The Bloodhounds threatened to add a third just before the stroke of halftime. Washington able to hold them off and actually win the second half by a score of 1-0. And it was Narek Raimundo with 10 seconds to go in the match who ended up bagging a goal, a really well-placed finish for Narek, his second of the season. So positive moments for Washington. Certainly much better looking result than the 5-1 and 5-0 defeats they suffered to Fort Madison last season. So some excellent play overall and some good fight. Fort Madison just very composed with their defenders. Of course, Washington's got an all-SEC guy in their back line. Fort Madison has one as well in Lane Rung. He was able to kind of control things. And the Demons up front, led by Santiago in the middle, an all-SEC player there. And up front, Connor Horn did a good job in attack, but Washington, plenty of fight, especially in that second half, to get a goal back, and in the end only fall 2-1 to a team that will be fighting right at the top of the SEC. Washington showed potentially they can do the same in 2026. They will be back in action Friday night. We will have a doubleheader for you Friday here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. The Washington girls soccer team will face off against Central Lee in their second game of the season. The Demon girls team losing to Oskaloosa on the road in game number 1. And then the boys will be in action against Highland, a rescheduled game, but a fun one nonetheless. So we will have prime time Demons and a really, really good stream over on the Southeast Iowa Video Network as Washington girls takes on Central Lee and the Washington boys team faces off against Highland. So we will sign off for now. We'll be back in just around 24 hours. So don't go anywhere. I guess you can go somewhere for the next 23 hours. But we look forward to bringing you some more action between the Demons and Hawks of Central Lee and Huskies of Highland. For Peter Camp, for our cameraman, Matt Bryant, who is okay behind the camera that got shellacked in the final seconds tonight, I'm Jack Knowlton. We will see you next time on the Southeast Iowa Video Network for Washington Demon Soccer.